should I clip this at?
That one's already on.
You gonna clip yours to your chain or what?
I'm gonna clip mine to right here, bro. Like I said, you can clip it to your, if you want to, as long as you can clip it to your glasses for all I care. Yeah, there you go. Lex, I don't know if you know him, but yeah, he did that with his when I talked to him. I said whatever works. I would recommend
other side, right?
well, whatever works. Middle, as long. Well, we're gonna listen to it after we get done. And if you want, I can.
How much you drop on these mics?
So one mic is 150 with the receiver. Two mics is 250, and then three mics is I think an even 300. But it also depends on what brand you get. So like they have some, you can get three mics.
Yeah.
For $200. So the brand. So this is the brand that I bought. Right here.
Road,
but they have other brands, bro, and they work.
Okay.
Camera's rolling, by the way.
Perfect.
Yeah. So for mine, I don't do like any intros, anything. I try to keep my channel as generic as it can be. My audience, what they see is what they get. So you can be you, you can cuss, all that other stuff. Just be you, brother.
Fuck.
There we go. Yep. All right. I'm gonna bring this in.
Good old F-bomb.
If I come a little close, I'm just trying to make sure I'm in the camera. Boom. There we go. And then right about there.
Want to stop scooting? You good?
No, you good. You good. All right.
I'm trying to figure out how to. You just taught me how to free up some space on the phone, man. Like between, like having a 256 gig phone, and then it's like all my training videos is really what takes up majority of the space.
So, do you also too? What gives me a peace of mind? Do you have the iCloud storage?
I do, and it's full.
Do you have videos from like 5-6 years ago?
I do. So here's one thing about myself that I'll be honest. It took me years to come to terms with this. I'm a digital hoarder, bro. Like, I don't delete anything.
Okay.
I got pictures, photos, videos for like the last 10 years. Like,
because you got the 256.
256, and what it is like every time I get a new phone, I like transfer everything over. But I swear I backed this phone up to my. I got a hard drive, and I backed it up, but. For some reason, I'm like, let me not delete this video because I might need to go back and look at how my squat looked 6 months ago compared to now.
Or 6 years ago. Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
So because you've been doing this for a while.
Training, I mean, you're talking back at like 2011, 2012.
Let me stop you right there then. Camera's already going. Okay. Again, appreciate you for, I tell this to everybody. One, I appreciate you coming to my platform, allowing me this opportunity to interview you. My overall goal is to bring powerlifters, bodybuilders, whatever in the realm of fitness competitors, to put their face on my channel and just like I'm talking to you about your reasons why as far as fitness, but you are also one of my inspirations. And I'm not just saying that. This isn't like, again, no paper or anything. One of my inspirations, because again, you have gotten on a platform, you have competed, you've coached me before, you've given me tools. So I said, all right, let me bring, and we've said your name before too, so it's kind of like I don't want to say somebody's name and somebody like who the fuck, but not on some real shit. Thank you for coming to my platform. Thank you for coming to my channel. Before we get into that,
thank you for having me.
I'd like to say, hey, please introduce yourself. And like I already told you, again, this isn't scripted. Once you introduce yourself, that's when the questions will come, and we'll just go with. Let me go ahead and set the clock. What they see is what they get.
Yeah, you good? Set the clock. I mean, I'm not pressed for time, so.
I got you. But with that being said, go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
My name is Kevin. Follow me on Instagram. It's gonna be Natty Long Legs.
I'm gonna make sure I tag it. I always tag it in the video. I got you. Thank you. So you said back to 2011. Is that when you were young, a teenager? Like, is that?
That was like my early 20s.
Early 20s when you started fitness, like your fitness journey.
Yeah, like I mean, in high school I did weightlifting.
Say less.
So
sports?
Nah. I mean, I didn't play sports. All I did was lift weights.
Say less.
So I was training then, but back then we're talking like 2007, 2008. My understanding of training and fitness now is I can see like compared to back then it was completely different. Like we didn't understand different body types. We didn't understand leverages, mechanics. At least I didn't. I'm pretty sure people knew about it, but my weightlifting coaches were the football coaches, right? So
in high school, right?
In high school, everybody lifts the same.
Okay.
Thumb lengths away from the knurling. So you got guys with short arms who are in a sweet spot for bench, and then you got guys with super long arms who are doing close grip bench, probably don't even realize it. Same thing for the squat. It was just a high bar squat.
Did you have that little, so Tyreek, because he brought up high school too, did y'all have that little chart in the background where y'all looked at weight and age and just went, so
yeah, we had a percentage chart. So like coach would come in and he'd yell out, all right, 75%. So you would know your max, and then you would just kind of like find out, okay, what your working sets were for the day based off that number of a percentage.
I did, it was like gym 101, I don't know what it's called now, but like, do you feel like in high school compared to the knowledge you have now when it comes to, do you feel like that was proper training?
It was not.
Okay.
It was bullshit.
Okay.
It was bullshit in a sense where like you didn't, like when you squatting, they'll tell every kid that essentially that your squat should look the same when it's not. You got tibial length, you got the length of the femur, you got the length of the torso, you got the bar position. There's so many things that are going to contribute to how your squat is going to look. But it's just like put the bar on your traps and fucking squat, ass down. You know what I'm saying? It's like some people squat, they look like they're just dropping up and down. Some people have a more like almost like they're, when you see a low bar squat, it's like a reach back and a forward lean.
And that could be, I got you, I'm gonna bring it full circle. So introduced to the aspect of fitness in high school. So obviously you loved it because you're still doing it now today.
Yeah, in college I kind of dabbled with it. I didn't really train as hard as I was in like coming out of high school. And then I had this gap where I just kind of gained a lot of weight and I didn't do anything. And then 2018, I was working on the oil rigs in South Texas, and there's like one or two body types out there. There's the overweight, sloppy guy, and then there's the gym rat, the meatheads.
So you
I
decided
started
to
gravitating towards the meatheads.
So, if I may, out of bodybuilding, Olympic lifting, strongman, what stuck out to you about powerlifting, and why did you choose that?
So originally, if you like from my beginnings, I always had a thing for Olympic lifting.
Okay.
I loved it, and we did hang cleans and power cleans. We didn't deadlift in high school. It was squat, bench, hang clean, power clean. Like that's what we did. So I've always had a thing for like Olympic lifting. And then once I got back to Fayetteville after I left Texas, I came back here and I met up with my boy Smitty. And then I reached out to Tariq on Instagram. So Smitty and I started training. And at that time,
shout out Tariq.
Shout out Tariq. Shout out to Smitty. It's crazy how everything comes full circle, right?
Yeah.
So this is the story. So I meet up with Smitty. I'm in the gym one day, and I'm just like kind of doing some squats. And we got the same personality type. Like I'm the hype up gym bro. I don't care if I know you or not. If I see you doing a good set, you just busted your ass on the set. I'm gonna come over, give you a pound. Yo, that was dope. Whatever. So I'm sitting here, I'm killing some squats, and Smitty's right here next to me on the grass part at Fitness Connection, and he's doing like he was on his knees and he had a stack of the red plates in front of him, and he
the kilo weights or
no, just the bumper plates over there.
Got you.
Right, he had them stacked up about this high, and he was coming off the knee, and then off the knees he was jumping, and then landing one foot into a pistol squat. Right,
Oh,
man's
shit.
crazy.
Got you.
Man is crazy. So he's like, oh yeah, man, your squat's looking good. I'm like, bro, that's nothing compared to what you're doing over there. Whoop-de-whoop. We chopped it up, swapped numbers. I'm like, yo, I seen you in here before. You come often? He was like, yeah, I'm in here about 4 or 5 times a week. So boom, I'm like, all right, well, next training. I was looking for a training partner at the time. So I was like, all right, next day you train, hit me up, we'll come in. Boom, that was it. We hit the ground running. We was training every day. We were in the gym. We were in Fitness Connection probably 4 hours a day sometimes, because at that time,
you was hungry.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
He just came off the railroad. I just came out of the oil field, and we kind of just weren't working at the time. So like I had enough money saved up where I was like, you know what? I had missed some time with my son. I was like, man, I'm just gonna be a dad. I'm in dad mode right now. I was looking for work, but I wasn't really pressed for it, right? So I had enough time to hit the gym as much as I wanted to. So then me and Smitty, we working out.
That's commendable, bro. Not to interrupt, but that's commendable.
No.
Like that's. Anyway,
money ain't everything, bro.
I'm glad.
Money ain't everything. All money ain't good money, bro.
Please continue, but that's commendable, brother. It really is.
So we decided, hey man, we should compete.
In what?
And we were just like, we should compete, and we're like, well, we ain't doing bodybuilding. We didn't have the discipline for that.
I got you.
So we like, squat, bench, deadlift, powerlifting. So I didn't know much about the sport at the time. I kind of saw it here and there, dibbled and dabbled, but I wasn't really well versed on it. So my bench was always all right. My squat, I've got super long femurs, but that's no excuse. But squat is my Achilles heel. I'll be honest about that. But my deadlift is what I really struggle with technique-wise, because this is when I started to realize the difference in proportions. When I would look at him deadlift, his deadlift looked a certain way, but I would try to mimic it, but I couldn't, obviously, because I'm not built like him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So then I'm just scrolling Instagram one day, and I see a video of some dude deadlifting, and I'm looking at this dude's proportions, and I'm like, oh, he's kind of built like me, and it was tagged Rhino's Gym in North Carolina.
No. I've been there
Rhino's
twice.
Gym, right?
That was a.
So I'm like, who is this dude? So I'm like, all right. At that time, I was trying to get into powerlifting. I didn't know much, so I had messaged a few people on Instagram. I didn't get a response back from really anybody.
Got you.
But this one dude in particular, I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? I saw your deadlift. It looks good. It's amazing. The numbers are crazy. I was wondering if you could help me figure some things out about my deadlift. He was like, he hit me back. He was like, yeah, man, whatever. Hey, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to Fitness Connection at 5:30 in the morning, Tuesday. If you want to pull up, man, I'll definitely help you out. And I was just like, man, I don't want to go to the gym at 5:30.
But you needed it.
You
needed the knowledge.
I wanted to figure out how to become a better deadlifter, or at least work my angles, right?
Okay.
So I get up, boom. Me and Smitty, we go to the gym at 5:30 in the morning. That was Tariq.
Yeah, I know that.
It was Tariq who responded to the message.
He gonna love this interview.
Right?
Got
so
you. Yeah.
that's why I always give Tariq his credit, because when I reached out to so many different people just to ask questions, and these were like, I had just went on this following spree. I'm like, I'm gonna follow every powerlifter. And
around here?
Just anywhere.
Okay.
And I would just hit people up, and you'd be surprised. I mean, nobody owes you anything.
Tracking.
You know what I'm saying? People don't owe you a response. People don't have
But
to help
Tyreek
you.
granted you
But
that grace.
Tariq gave me the
that
grace and was like,
and
yo, I
helped you,
got
yeah.
you. And he's like, after that, I met a lot of great people. But when I was first trying to figure out how to get into powerlifting and looking for a coach and trying to get help, he was the one who reached back. So that's why I will always give him his flowers. I will always give him his credit. So now it's me, Tariq, and Smitty. 3 of us are working out together. And Smitty follows some fitness people on Instagram, and he follows this fitness dude from Jersey or whatever. And we're in Fitness Connection one day, and he's like, yeah, I got this dude I follow, man. He was in Jersey. I know him from Jersey, but I just saw he posted at a gym in Fayetteville. Well, dude ended up getting stationed out here, right?
Okay.
So then we have this bench session. It's me, Smitty, and the dude from Jersey, which turns out to be Trav.
I'm gonna have a sit down. Everything coming like, damn.
It turns out to be Trav.
It's like anime. This shit coming full circle.
So
like,
now
everybody got a
you
backstory.
got me,
Yeah.
you got Smitty, you got Trav, and you got Tariq, and then we just clicked. So that was the crew. So we were going Rhinos, and then fucking Rhinos ended up getting shut down. That happened when Rhinos shut down.
COVID.
No, it wasn't even that. It was after COVID. When they shut down for good.
So I've been there twice. I know. You know who Dill is, right? Strawman.
Yeah, Dilly, yeah.
So my bad. Just gonna say this and wrap it up.
No, you good, bro.
I recognize the type of place Ronald was, like the fact it had a cage in there with like those big ass orbital balls that you got to pick up and shit. I said, oh
no
my god.
air conditioning. Mm-hmm. They had a couple of fans.
No signal.
No phone signal.
It was a dead zone.
You might fuck around and get tetanus from the rust. Mm-hmm. But for me personally, that was my favorite training environment to this day. I love
it cut out all the distractions.
Yeah, it was like a dungeon. It was hot as fuck in there. Mm-hmm. But you couldn't get plates that match. That's why I came to Worlds and I got bougie. Mm-hmm. I need all my plates to match. But at Rhinos, my plates never.
It didn't matter.
I didn't give a shit about that.
Got you. Weight is weight.
Weight was weight. You know,
Okay.
if you got a 47 and a 44,
Boy, you better not tip me. Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't know what it was. But I coming here, I love it here. But it's just Rhinos did something to me mentally when I would find myself in there and I'm just dying. Like I literally felt like I was fucking dying in there. But I think coming out on the other side of that, it made
Your own version of the hyperbolic time.
Yep, exactly.
Anime nerd came out of me. I'm sorry, bro. Hey,
what does that say?
Hey,
training to go Super
Saiyan.
Saiyan.
Got you, yeah.
Right?
I got you.
So fast forward a little bit. Now I'm thinking about competing seriously, and I'm looking for a coach because at the time Tariq was pretty much swamped. Tariq's coach was swamped because he had just picked up Trav. So I was looking for a coach, and then that's when Tariq introduced me to my current coach, which we've been rocking together 2 years now. Shout out to Guillermo Blanco. His focus is like a lot of conjugate West Side, but we modify it to
To where it works for you?
To where it works for me as a power lifter. So I take a lot of the elements, because a lot of those West Side guys, they did like equip lifting. You know what I'm saying? They're benching in shirts and squatting in suits.
Not now, but like further on in the interview, can we touch on that? There's a specific
absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely. So we modify that to cater to me as a raw lifter. And one of the things I love the most about, I don't know if it's just the conjugate and West Side method itself, or the way that he does it, is like the variation. The constant variation. Like every 4 weeks, I'm getting a completely new set of workouts, right? Okay. Obviously, we keep certain elements in there if we notice something is lacking, and then once we add it in, and okay, we're seeing improvement, like technically, you know what I'm saying? Of like, okay, if I'm doing a squat and I'm doing a good morning on my squat, okay, something's lacking here, the lower back, mid back's probably weak, or maybe the upper back's weak, caused me to cave. All right, boom, we're gonna add this, we're gonna add SSB squats, and then we notice it's working, we keep it in there. But even to the point where if I'm at the point now as a lifter where the reason why I was telling you I ran out of phone space is because I literally record every single lift. So when I notice, all right, hey, this technically was not clean. Let me look at it over the next 3 weeks. Okay, for the last 3 weeks, I've been having this issue technically. So there's something's lacking in the training where we need to strengthen this. And I'll tell coach, hey, what do you think about this? Let's add some of these in there.
So the way you could, I'm just asking because you look at everything, as you should, very analytical in this sport and in your own training regime. So like, has there ever been it sounds like you mainly call out the critiques. You be like, hey coach, I'm sending you this is what I think.
Yeah.
So obviously he's still your coach. Has there ever been things he's called out that you haven't seen that you haven't
absolutely
done? Okay.
All the time.
Okay.
There's certain things that happen that I'm not, sometimes I was like, oh damn, I wasn't even aware of it. Like, and he's really methodical, like to the point where, and nothing, like almost nothing gets past him.
Okay.
Right. So it's like if there's something that I may not see, I can count on him to
catch it.
Yeah, to catch it and pick up that slack and make an adjustment.
How many powerlifting comps have you done?
I've done 3 so far.
So your training regime. So it's not. How long did it take you before you finally got on the platform? Because you've been training for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, training. So I was doing like the bro split shit before I got with Gmo.
Okay.
And like when me and Smitty were training, this was my split. I would do chest on Monday or upper on Monday, and then I would do legs on Tuesday, like squats. I would deadlift Wednesday. Then I go back. Then I go back to chest, upper Monday. Thursday.
So you were like at one point the typical gym bro.
Friday I was doing legs again.
Okay.
And Saturday was my second deadlift day, and I reached the point where I was like, I just want to bench 315. I just want to bench 315. So that's what we did, right? So I was doing 5x5. I found like about the 5x5 program. So I'm doing 5x5, and it's like, all right, I told you I had two bench days, right? So if I would hit the target weight 5x5 on both days, I would go up 5 pounds the following week. So I started at like 245, right, for a 5x5, and then that Thursday 245 for a 5x5. So I hit both of those. The following week I went up to 250, and I did that all the way up until I got up to 275, which is like 7 consecutive weeks. Something like that, 6 or 7.
Nope. And this was before your coach?
This was before my coach. No deload. I didn't know what the fuck a deload was. Okay. I just knew my elbows hurt all the time. I just knew I had like the tendonitis in the elbows, my shoulders hurt. So were you training for
a goal, or was it really just?
I just wanted to bench 315.
Okay, yeah.
That's it. Okay. I just wanted to bench 315.
Okay.
So I did that, and it worked. I did hit 315 before I got with my coach. It was a touch and go, and I hit it back to back like the same day.
Yeah, because a lot of people, if I may, a lot of people don't understand the versus the.
Yeah, you actually.
Oh my, yeah, big difference. Yeah.
So that, I probably got away with more than I should have, because you go 6 weeks of training like that, and you don't deload, you don't give your body time to rest, you can really injure yourself, and it makes sense. Like my AC joint was hurting all the time. Like my rear delts were hurting all the time.
I couldn't continue.
Keep rolling. We keep rolling.
Gotcha.
I couldn't sleep on my side. I had to become like a back sleeper, and the reason why I had to become a back sleeper, because when I would sleep on my stomach, and then I would like have my arm like here under the pillow,
hurt like hell.
It would hurt like hell, and I was like that for months, because the way I was training, I was just like balls to the wall. And eventually, I did take breaks after a while, but I would go like 6 weeks of training, 7 weeks of training, and I'm like, maybe I'll skip today.
You're good. I was making sure the camera's still going. I don't
Yeah.
want to have another minute. So my bad.
good, bro.
So again, it may be like a duh type question, but so it sounds like, so you didn't get on the platform until you had proper training by your
Absolutely.
coach. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So with that, how many weeks of let's talk about to the lead up, and then we'll talk about the
Okay.
day of your first meet. But how long were you training when you finally got your coach to the day of your first powerlifting
So
meet?
when I met Gmo, Rhinos was still open. So it might have been a few weeks. We might have been like we did an evaluation over the phone.
Okay.
He asked me some questions. I filled out a questionnaire. He was very thorough.
Okay.
You know, he asked me what my numbers were, and obviously the numbers that I gave him and the numbers that I was able to hit technically sound were like light years apart, right?
Okay.
I had hit like 345 for like a touch and go, and I mean obviously that doesn't count for shit in competition.
And comps, okay.
Right, it didn't mean anything. To me, it meant something. I benched 345. To him, it didn't mean anything. Not because he's an asshole,
but it was
because
just
he
he
has
knows
an
the
understanding
game.
of comp
Yeah.
standard, which I didn't have that understanding yet.
Got you.
Same thing with the squat. Oh yeah, I hit 405. Yeah, with fucking knee
Knee
wraps
wraps.
on in a loose belt, just at parallel, if that. The most grindiest 405 that you
Your
ever
first
see.
comp was humbling, huh?
Very humbling. And
Okay,
like
yeah.
my deadlift, I had pulled like a round bag 500. Oh, it is.
So when
what
you
it
say
is.
around, well,
Positioning was bad, technique was bad.
So no, the only reason I ask these questions, so everybody's experience on their first comp is different.
Yeah.
So was it like 8 weeks, 16 weeks before you got on the platform, or does it?
So I remember we had 16 weeks. So
Okay.
when around the time I met him, I think we were already looking for a comp when I hired him on.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, so let's see what we got. And I think we found when it was probably like maybe 16 or possibly 20 weeks out. So we had about 8 weeks of training, and then we rolled into a 12-week prep.
So I'm gonna bring it full circle. I promise you. So
No, you good, bro.
what was your thought process during training? Because there's another specific question I'm gonna ask you.
I thought he was sandbagging the fuck out of me.
Really?
Yeah, everything was easy, but I realized now that what he was doing was trying to fix my technique.
Okay.
Because I'm like, this is too light. Like I was like, I felt like I was getting undershot all the time. But then I realized, you know, the difference between taking 225 and just doing this versus doing tempos,
Okay.
Larson presses, Spotto presses, pin presses, like those different bench variations. You start to get I was getting like noodle arms and shit because I didn't have that proper training, like even just pausing. So it was a slow start, but with good reason. And then what ended up happening was 10 weeks out from my first comp, I got injured doing squats. This was a speed day.
Were you following the regime, or
I was. I don't go off program.
Okay.
I'm not one of those dudes that goes off program. I mean, if I say I went off program, maybe it was once or twice in the last 2 years. But like
you got goals you want to meet.
During prep, I don't fuck around.
Gotcha.
I don't go off program. I don't do stupid shit. If anything, we kind of dial it back a little bit.
Gotcha.
But I got injured 10 weeks out from my first comp. I was doing a speed squat with maybe 275 or 300, something like that.
If
At
I
that
may
time,
touch
I was
on
a
this
low
real
bar
quick,
squatter. What's up?
What was your resiliency like? Did that kind of discourage you?
Oh, it fucked me up.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
It fucked me up bad. Just because I was doing a speed squat. I was low bar wide stance at the time, and I didn't wear heels yet.
Okay.
I was squatting in flats.
Okay.
And I was doing speed squats, and I hit the hole hard. And then once on the ascension, I just felt something here in my upper quad and I was like, what the fuck? It was sore. I did another set after that, and then I went home. And then, the next day, I couldn't fucking walk. And then the following week for squats, I was doing 135. Box squats.
Oh, brother.
Box squats because the pain was bad. I mean, we did everything. I did foam rolling. We did a floss band, tied it around there, try to see if I could, continue to. And I just had to let it heal.
But you still continue with the training because that comp is it's something you wanted.
Absolutely.
That's commendable.
So, fast forward to shortly after I get injured, I told you I'm doing box squats in there at 135. So Rhinos was 24 hours.
Okay.
So I go in there one night, I'm in the power cage, and there's a combo rack next to the power cage. So I'm in the power cage doing box squats about this high, because what we wanted to do was to get it just above where it's painful at, or right at where it's painful at, and just kind of work as much range of motion as possible without me going into like feeling like a 10 on the pain scale, right? And this guy comes in, and he's squatting on the combo rack, and I think he's squatting like 455, and he's sending that shit through the fucking ceiling, right? Like he's fucking, I'm here like a bitch with 135 on my back. I'm feeling a type of way, not towards him, but
towards yourself.
I feel like, damn it, man, like I want to get my squat back. But it was motivating seeing him send that shit through the ceiling. So somehow we end up in conversation in there. We start talking, and then I'm telling, yeah, man, I gotta introduce you to my homies. I'm talking about Smitty, Trav, and Tariq. And, he's like, yeah, all right, cool. Well, yeah, I'm Kevin. He's like, yeah, my name's Jamaris, but you can call me JD. Yeah. So.
I'm coming, Elizabeth. Now, let me start.
That's another piece.
Okay.
These guys are pieces to the puzzle
of your powerlifting
of my
journey.
powerlifting journey.
Okay.
That if I did not meet Smitty, I wouldn't have met Tariq, because I wouldn't have been looking for a powerlifting coach. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have met Trav, because Trav and Smitty wouldn't have had that connection via Instagram already. I wouldn't have been going to Rhinos if I didn't meet Tariq. And if I didn't go to Rhinos, I would have never met Jamaris. Maybe I would have ran into him down the line, because we end up coming
this
here.
shit like a movie. Y'all
I know, right?
Oh my God.
We end up coming here.
Yeah.
We end up going to Fitness Connection a little bit. But the way that it happened is almost like, I don't want to say divine intervention, but
bro.
It's just
the way you're explaining the story is kind of like,
yeah.
I would believe it anyway. Continue, but I would believe it personally. But yeah, continue. I apologize.
So then we just started training sessions together, and literally everybody in that group has made tremendous growth over the last 2 years, and it's like one hand washes the other. We support each other.
Iron sharpens iron type shit.
Yeah. We support each other as much as we can. We show up to the meets. We go to out of town gyms together. Like recently, a few months ago, it was me, JD, and Tariq, and we went up to Ray Williams gym, Iron Built, up in Virginia, which we're supposed to be going back. I think it's June 1st.
Gotcha.
But just those trips out of state together, going to meets out of state together, heavy training sessions here. Like, I'm pulling whatever today. Be at the gym. You know what I'm saying? So those moments, like having a training crew, is extremely underrated. Some people can lone wolf it. I don't mind. I do either way, because I understand life happens. Shit happens. People got stuff they got going on. I can train by. I don't even listen to music when I work out. Like I just whatever's playing.
Insane.
Taylor Swift, top 40, pop, whatever. I'm just gonna work out. But if I'd much rather have those group of guys, or a solid group of guys. You know what I'm saying? Because if I see you killing it, then I'm gonna be more inclined to step my game up.
That's a beautiful story, brother. I really appreciate you telling it on my channel.
Yeah.
If I may, your first day on your comp, right?
Yeah.
So what were your feelings? You gone through the training regime. You've been introduced to so many aspects of powerlifting. The day of the powerlifting.
Day of comp was weird, right?
Okay.
So, my coach, his wife was pregnant.
Oh.
And they weren't sure when the baby was gonna come. So I was in Lake Wylie, South Carolina.
By yourself?
Yeah. So that was my first comp, and he wasn't gonna be able to make it because they weren't sure when the baby was coming. And I didn't think it would have been fair. Like, yeah, he's a powerlifting coach, but your first child that trumps everything.
Yes, yeah.
Damn the meat. Forget about me. Yeah. Hey, handle your business. I'll figure it. I don't give a fuck if I bomb.
Okay.
I'll figure it out. But I know what I felt when my son was born. I'm not gonna miss that.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna risk me trying to drive 3.5, 4 hours back because wifey's in labor. You don't know when the baby's coming. So I was like, all right, so coach is not coming. That's out of the question. So, but I was still like, because when I found out, I was already in Lake Wylie the day before, 24-hour weigh-ins. So I was under the impression that maybe he was coming, and then boom, I was like, okay, cool. He's not gonna be here. All right, cool. But Tariq showed up, and he ended up handling me my first meet, and also Dre, which I met Dre at Rhinos a couple of months before my comp. he came up to Rhinos, and I met him there, and we found out we were competing together, same weight class and everything. So technically, you know, he's an op, but he was an op at the time, right?
I'm so sorry.
But listen, I didn't know about getting the rack height, all the preliminary stuff you have to do.
He's
on
an op,
meet day.
but you know,
he's an op, but he took care of me. He's
He
an op, bro, I
took-
got you. You know, you gotta go here, check in here, da da da.
If I made it just real quick, and again, I feel like the answer's gonna be duh. But did Tyreek's charismatic energy help you that day, give you that push you needed for your comp?
Oh yeah.
Okay, anyway,
Absolutely. They loved him there too, man.
I believe it. Like he jewel.
The energy
He's a
is
jewel.
good. Yeah, the
But
energy
but-
is good.
Yeah, I
so,
apologize.
you know,
but-
he handled me through that first that squat, and I wanted over 4, but the injury was still like I still felt the pain, but it wasn't as bad. But
And this is your first one. But,
First meet.
No,
10 weeks after my injury.
No, well, yeah, but we're talking about like your first event. So we're talking about the squat right now, right?
Yeah, we're talking about the squat right
Okay,
now.
go
So this is 10 weeks after I got injured, so I had lost some weight on the squat. Obviously, I probably would have hit better numbers, but it is
That's
what it
neither here
is.
nor there. You did. So, what were your numbers?
So-
And with that being said, what were your numbers? And I'm asking.
Okay, so I don't remember what my opener. I want to say I opened at like 336.
Okay.
And then maybe like 353 on my second attempt, and then I know for a fact my third was 386, and it was very fast with a lot left in the tank. So, but if there's something that happens, at least to me anyway, I've had injuries in the gym, like minor injuries, and by minor I mean I've never torn anything, but I've had injuries that have taken like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, sometimes
recover
8
from.
weeks to recover from fully. Your brain goes, at least my brain goes into this like protection mode,
Okay.
to where it's like, I'm not going to slam it as hard as I can. I'm not going to hit it as hard as I can.
Okay.
Right? And I try my best to overcome that. But even in comp, like I was worried about the hip.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So after I hit 386 on my third attempt, a lot left in the tank, but I was happy with that because I wasn't even sure if I was I was thinking like maybe I'm going to have to pull out of this competition because of the quad injury 10 weeks before that.
Gotcha.
The bench is a funny story. And this is where it's like, Gmo set my numbers. He kind of gave me the numbers as a guideline. The bench, I opened at 308.
Okay.
I took 323
Okay.
on my second,
Okay.
and he told me 336.
Okay.
But the way the 323 flew, I was like, I had Tariq tell you, nah. I locked it out. I racked it back. I jumped off the bench and I yelled 341, like for my next attempt. Right.
What was everybody's facial reaction?
Nobody made a reaction, but it was like I'm dope. I'm an adrenaline junkie, bro. Like when meet day is like I get the jitters. Like I'm doped up on adrenaline. So I hit the 320. I think it's 323. I don't know. It's kilos and shit. I think it was like 323. Boom, I hit it and I jump on. I'm like 341, and I walk over. I'm like 341, 341. So then boom, we go over. Tariq gives me the handoff. Sink to my chest, press, give me the press command, and I get like here, brother, and I'm like, I'm fighting. It was a long
R. Kelly,
fight.
I'm fighting for my fucking
I'm
life.
fighting for my life. I'm killing me. I'm pushing, bro. I'm like 2 inches from lockout. I couldn't lock it out. They took it.
Got you.
So that's where I was like, okay. I was kind of bummed.
Okay.
Rewinding my squat a little bit. This is where it's like one thing that Gmo told me that I'm glad I did, but I didn't do it as in-depth as I should have. My first meet was read the rule book. Any powerlifter out there, read the fucking rule book.
Okay.
I know that sounds like I don't want to say stupid, but maybe it's something that people overlook.
We need it, especially if we've never been on the platform.
The rule book. Read it.
Gotcha.
Because there's certain things you might miss in there, right? So I got a red light on my opener, my squat.
The squat. Okay.
Right?
What happened?
I got two.
Oh yeah.
I got two, but I got a red light from the side judge. And I was like, the hell was that about? Right? So I asked the side judge what happened, and they said that my end position was not the same as my start position in the squat. So essentially what it was is the bend in my knee. That's why you notice most lifters now when they're about to squat, before they squat, they'll fully lock the knee because this is the position you're going to end in. So
Okay.
basically what she was saying was my knee was just slightly...
Can we continue going?
Yes, we can keep going.
Say
She said my knee was slightly bent,
Start.
and so I started here, and when I finished, I was completely locked out. So it wasn't the same, so she red lighted me, and I'm just like, I feel like that's nitpicking.
Okay. We gonna touch. I got you, but continue.
But
we gonna touch on that in a
This is why
second.
they say, as a power lifter, you want to make everything undeniable and do not leave yourself at the mercy of the judges. And I've been at the mercy of the judges in 2 out of the 3 meets.
Okay.
The first meet, I was at the mercy of the judges, and my last meet, I was at the mercy of the judges. So, deadlift, I opened at 474.
If I may touch on that,
Sure.
so the deadlift, with the injury that you had,
It didn't bother me.
It's still only when you squat.
Only when I squatted. Deadlift, I opened at 474, and then I think I took 507 on my second attempt, and he put down 518, and I took 523 instead. I got the 523, but I got a red light on the 523. It was still 2 to 3, but one of the judges called ramping. So the way I pull, I'm like a very back dominant puller. Everyone tells me it's probably best if I open up my stance and go sumo. I just feel more comfortable pulling conventional, even though my femurs are long as shit. So it's like where a shorter person could probably get a better wedge. It's a little bit tricky for me to wedge. That's like going to be like optimal compared to somebody who has different levers, right? But it is what it is. No excuse for that. You just get fucking stronger, right? Gotcha. So when I lock out, my hips were late to the party. So they have what's called ramping, where it's like, if you're strongman, you can do it. You can ramp, you can hitch, like sliding it up your thigh, which is why they put the baby powder on. Because if it catches your singlet and you end up having to grind through that, it's going to look like a ramp. Okay. So I had one judge call me for ramping. The other 2 gave me the white light, and that was it. Like, I just felt the weight off my shoulders. I placed 3rd in my weight class.
Any level of accomplishment, any level of relief, like on your first one, like I fucking did it.
Oh yeah, I was proud of myself.
Say less.
I was proud. Dre got first place. That's why I said he was the op. At
he was the op, but he helped me.
But he helped me out. But he smoked my boots, man. Dre had I think he hit like 347 on bench or 353 maybe. He squatted like 523, and he pulled like maybe 601. I think. Or maybe it was either he pulled high fives or low sixes. I can't remember. But I mean, he did a hell of a job. And that we went to go eat, and that was it, man. It was a great experience.
So allow me to touch on it. You kind of did, but like I've asked all the powerlifters this who've gotten on the platform. Do you agree with the judging scale, the 3? Well, maybe not. Whether it's the 3 thoughts of how you judge, do you feel like there can be a little bit of bias and unfairness in the grading?
I think there can be bias, there can be unfairness, because you have the human element. Okay. Right? And judges get fatigued. It's not an easy job. You know what I mean?
Watching all that all day.
Watching that many, and people make mistakes. People make bad calls. And, it's just like the NBA refs. Everybody hates the NBA refs. But I could imagine, they
because they fucking up everybody.
They do fuck up sometimes. Yeah. They fucking up the parlay, fucking up house money, right? Yeah. But I'd say to eliminate that, there's ways you can go around it. The bench shit is what it is. You got to get that bar down in your chest and get it motionless. If you're a sinker like me, it's going to take a minute. You might get a longer press command, because once you sink fast, they're going to wait till that bar is stable before they give you the press command. But if you're a person that's...
all comps?
Yeah.
Oh,
the rule is, once the bar is on your chest, lower to your chest, and motionless, then you will get a press command. So the guys that sink, you got to think, when you sink, those plates it's going to be a half a second before it settles, versus somebody who's
oh Lord Jesus,
who applies the brakes. Now you're expending more energy here. Okay. But if you're a soft touch, the second you soft touch, you're going to get a quick press command. Okay. But the trade-off is, it's a lot, in my opinion, I think it takes more energy for the soft touch than if you just kind of like let it sink a little bit. I don't know.
No, I got you. I'm learning, and you're giving me jewels and mentorship and tips. Well, obviously, still read the book, but things I need to keep in mind when I finally get on the platform. But
I'm still learning myself. There's things about the game that I myself am still learning. My thing with the squat is the squat depth. You hear it's the hip crease, then it's like, no, it's the hip joint. And I'm like, okay, well, why don't you just get a fucking, like the laser for your garage door? Like the sensor.
Yeah.
Why not just you have a laser lined up and you have to break the light and then you get a beep to come up. Like I feel like that's so simple.
So with that, since I touched on the possible flaws in grading and judging grading school, do you feel like this is something a subscriber told me to ask, because the ones that actually generally watch the interviews, but they were like, do you feel like there's gatekeeping in powerlifting? And the only reason because they're in some form of strongman, bodybuilding, there's some form of that. Do you feel like there is that in powerlifting?
I feel like maybe to get in a cool kids club or to be in those circles where you know everybody's, you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, strong is strong. Your numbers are the numbers are objective. You know, you can't. Oh, I guess he benched. No, you either you're ranked where you're ranked at on open powerlifting. If you're stronger than everybody else, then you're stronger. Now, as far as getting into social circles and people gatekeeping the, you know, like I said, the cool kids club, or you know, who shows each other love on Instagram, and you know, who's doing reels with each other. Fuck all that. Who gives a shit about that? The social media aspect of powerlifting, I guess, is cool and all, but nobody gives a fuck about that. Are you strong or not?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So the gatekeeping on a social level, that's in everything.
Okay.
There's a good old boys club in every group of people, but the good thing about powerlifting is if I hit my fucking numbers and it's on open powerlifting, I don't give a fuck how you feel about me. I don't care if I'm in your social circle or not. I rank where I rank. I pulled what I pulled. I benched what I benched. I squatted what I squatted. Simple as that. I don't care how you feel about me. I don't care if you like me.
Permit me to ask this question. What advice for someone who hasn't powerlifted or competed, gotten on a platform, what advice would you give them, especially if they're, well, obviously me, but me or people who do want to get on the platform, they're nervous, they're worried about, okay, I'm a certain weight, I'm a certain height, these are numbers that I should be hitting, like thought process like that. What advice would you give people like that who want to get on the platform?
Early on, I would say take it slow. Prioritize technique over everything, and just remember that the way you do things might not be the same as everybody else. The way your bench looks, your bench technique, your bench setup, your squat, your mechanics, your deadlift mechanics, you'll never look like anybody else. You won't look like your favorite power lifter. It's just like bodybuilding. Like you guys that get into bodybuilding, I want to look like this dude. You won't, because you're not him. You don't have his body. You don't have his genetics. I think the biggest thing to focus on is making the best of yourself, making the best of what you have. But my biggest thing is like patience. I was very impatient with a lot of things. I was just itching to get on a platform, and I wanted to hit big numbers. But you know, people always project, and I still do it sometimes. I want to get this. Like right now, I'm on this whole road to 700 deadlift thing. Right, it'll come when it comes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put a meet on it. I'm not gonna put a date on it. You know, don't stop putting dates on everything. You know, just go out there and take what the day gives you. You might have had a shitty prep. Like right now, my prep is giving me a kick in the ass. But I'm just gonna go out there on meet day and just take whatever's there. And I think that's the best thing, is just to make the best of the situation, because there's so many variables when it comes to competing. Just take it easy day by day.
If I may, and you've already answered it, but I'm gonna go ahead and answer it anyway. Do you love the camaraderie of powerlifting? So out of all of them, and even strongman too, but out of all of it,
all strength sports. I love the camaraderie in all strength sports. Like, we give each other shit. You know, the bodybuilders make jokes about powerlifters and our rest times. You know what I'm saying? We make jokes about how bodybuilders can't fucking step away from the mirror.
Dog.
You know, you get the CrossFit jokes about them not doing real pull-ups, the kipping, and the strongman get the jokes about being fat asses. But it's all love at the end of the day. So at least for me, I respect all strength sports, because it's not easy. None of that shit is easy. If you've ever trained hard, or you've ever came in the gym and had an intense session, and then to go out there and do it competitively, like, you realize like that person's making just the same amount of sacrifices as you are. So I got nothing but respect for all the strength sports.
I got you. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here first, but before I do cut it, I'd like to hit you with this rapid fire. Allow me to say this. Again, thank you for that story. It's like, and I can't wait to continue to put this content out though too, because this is the shit that I'm looking for. There's a story behind everything. There's a why behind everything. There's inspiration in the story that you told. I feel like it just, you know, the concept of friendship and bonding,
Yeah.
and mentorship, regardless of what it is in the realm of fitness. I'm still finding my why. Mitch, when we first did this, he asked me this, and my why at the end of the day was just people.
Yeah.
But the story you told, that's very respectable. A lot of people, you know, they get introduced to certain things. They get introduced to the negative aspects,
Yeah.
and then
I
before the
wanted a
positive.
challenge, man. I wanted a challenge. I wanted to challenge myself, and it's, you know what I'm saying. It's like I listen to a lot of Elite FTS Table Talk podcast, Dave Tate, and he mentions that a lot. Like when he played football in high school or whatever, it's like, you know, on team sports, it's a team thing, right? So if you bust your ass but you still lose, you lost. Well, powerlifting is just you. So if you go out there and you do bad, it's you. You go out there, you do good, it's you. So all the responsibility is on me. So it's just like one of those things where I can challenge myself, and I can't blame anybody else but myself.
Do you take into account though the surroundings that you got? Again, Tyreek, JD, and all that.
They make a big difference.
Okay.
Because it's the accountability factor. Like we hold each other accountable.
Okay.
And it's like the biggest thing is it forces you to hold yourself accountable, right? Like if I go on the platform and I miss a lift, or in training I miss a lift, I immediately start thinking like, okay, well, if I don't do my accessories right, and I go on the platform and I have a bad meet, the first thing I'm gonna think about is, all right, well,
you should have been doing your accessories.
I skipped out on my reverse hypers. I didn't do my good mornings. And I didn't do my Bulgarian split squats. Do your Bulgarian split squats, people. Stop skipping the Bulgarians. That's the first thing that's gonna come to my mind. It's like, you know what? If I had done, you know, maybe I would have. Maybe if I was doing them, I would have been able to lock out that squat or that deadlift. If I was doing my reverse hypers, if I was doing my hip thrusts, maybe that's why I missed the lockout. Some days you just don't have it, but it definitely like the self accountability. It taught me how to be like accountable for myself, and like now with the way my training is, I practice auto regulation. So like coach will give me the program, and you know, this is why like he'll give me ranges and RPE. It's like, okay, you know what, you may wake up that morning, you feel amazing, you get to the gym and you're dragging ass, just sucking shit. So it's like, all right, you know what, we're gonna take the lower end of the numbers today, and we're just gonna go for intensity. We're gonna go for effort. You know what I'm saying? Versus, oh well, I didn't hit the number that I was supposed to hit today. I got weaker, which I still go through those changes at times. You know, I still have that mentality. Sometimes I come in and have a bad day. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm getting weak. And I have to snap out of it, like, no, this is just a part of training. Like you get those reminders that you're human. Because you come in here one day, you'll fucking PR, and then you go 2 weeks later, and something that you should be able to hit for 5, you hit it for 2.5, and you just have it back. It just comes with the game, dog. It just comes with the territory.
Well, I may hit you with this questionnaire, and we'll end it.
Sure.
If I may make a request, I'd like to bring you back. Obviously, after I put all the content out, but I do want to touch on suited powerlifting. But we'll say that for another time, because again, you're knowledgeable and you have a lot to offer to this channel. But we'll take baby steps with it. You've given me enough time with this now, and I'm appreciative of it. But when I do bring you back, that's something I do want to touch on.
So can I make a suggestion to you?
Go ahead.
Jesus is one of my training partners. He actually does equip lifting.
Okay. Interview him?
Yeah. I think I can't in good faith talk about equip lifting because I've never done it. I know of it.
Okay.
But he's actually, I mean, he has a suit and everything, and you've seen him.
Say less. All right.
You've seen him in here with me.
I'll definitely, what they say in the Army, I'll take that recommendation into consideration.
Yes.
Now let me start. Yeah, I got you.
If you want to know about the equip lifting,
that's the person to talk to.
I would tell you talk to Gmo, but he's not here anymore. He's out of state now, so. But
you know what? I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll hit him up.
Talk to Jesus. He's got it as far as the equip lifting goes. He knows a hell of a lot more than I can tell you.
I got you.
Yep.
So the questionnaire I do, I set it for a minute.
Okay.
And then it's just 10 questions.
Sure.
All right. Here
Easy.
we got you. Starting the time now. All right. Rest day or cheat meal?
Rest day.
Conventional deadlift or sumo?
All conventional.
Energy drink or coffee?
Energy drink.
Cardio or sauna?
Sauna.
Bulgarian split squat or hip thrust?
Oh, hip thrust all day.
Got A, bodybuilding or strongman?
Strongman.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Rock and roll or hip hop?
Hip hop.
1 rep max or repetition?
1 rep max.
Fitness model or muscle mommy?
I'm going with the muscle mommy.
Say less, say less. Hey, on some real shit, again, thank you for coming to my platform. Thank you for coming to the channel.
Me, brother. Anytime, man. I love to come back, man.
Say less, say less. Hopefully I can do a 2-man sit down. Like I said, I'm still trying to grow this channel. I've been growing a healthy community, and everybody I've had to sit down with for my channel, they've been helping. So again, thank you for helping me grow my community. Thank you for helping me grow my channel.
Absolutely, bro. Anytime, man.
Say less. And we are out.
Wrap.
All right.